Hello, and welcome to the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Hannah Sutherland. I'm a lover of all things self-care, personal development, and spirituality. I have created this podcast to help you grow into the most soulful version of yourself while creating more joy, magic, and purpose in your everyday life. If you're ready to live a life so full, then you, my friend, have come to the right place. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and now let's dive deep. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Sutherland, and today we are going to be talking about the elements. Yes, the 4 elements that are fire, earth, air, and water. So if you don't know much about the elements, that's okay. We're going to go into detail. We're going to talk about each one and their unique properties and how we can use them in our life to create more balance. And I find them super fascinating. They have really helped me understand not only myself, but also other people around me, and also have really helped me to be able to create more balance in my life. But by understanding each of these unique energies, I have been able to know when to use which energy in order to create that balance. So let's dive in. So the elements are actually talked about and taught in Chinese, Native American, Vedic, and Tibetan cultures, and it is commonly believed that everything in the universe is made up of these 4 elements, including each and every one of us. And each of us are a unique combination of all 4 elements. So when you know which elements exist in yourself more naturally than others, you can use that to use the other elements to help you create balance in your life. So if you're curious about what your elements are, if you don't know, it is linked to astrology. So you can actually look up your astrological chart. My favorite website to use is Cafe Astrology. It's free. You can find it on, I just Google astrology chart. It's one of the first ones that pop up. And it's free. You input. You do have to know the date, time, and location you were born in order to solve this, because it uses such a detailed information of the sky from the exact moment you were born. And when it comes to astrology, planets and things move. So if you don't know the exact time, it can change, especially when it comes for your rising sign. The rising sign changes about every 2.5 hours. So you kind of need a general idea of the time that you were born in order to figure this out. But all you have to do is plug it in, and then the website will give you a whole chart. Also, if you have Snapchat and you have your birthday and time in your Snapchat, it'll actually tell you the breakup of elements in that as well. You can use that. And yeah, if you want to pause and do that now, because following along might make more sense to you. But if you want to do that later, that's cool too. You might even just listen to these and automatically resonate and know which ones you probably have more or less of in your own makeup. So yeah, for myself, I believe 68% air. So I have a lot of air element in my life, in my makeup, and it is very true to who I am. I have to be very conscious and make sure that I incorporate earth, fire, and water into my daily routines, because I am so heavily prominent in air. But if I wasn't heavily prominent in air, I wouldn't have so many ideas. I wouldn't be good at communicating and all the things that come with air. We'll get into that. So first we will talk about fire, because in the astrology, zodiac signs, fire comes first. So fire is the element of passion, which is why it represents our soul. Fire is a masculine energy, and it is linked to heat, aggression, and motivation. When you are connected with the element fire, it keeps you very passionate and driven. If you have a lot of fire naturally in your makeup, you might be an aggressive person, you'd be very passionate, you like to be an authority, be highly motivated, have a high sex drive, love and hate things very hard, and have very strong desires. If you lack fire in your makeup, you may lack motivation, drive, and ambition. You may feel disconnected from your soul or your purpose. You may dislike authority figures or have a problem with authority figures, and you can lack some passion. So if you notice any of those traits in your life, it can be a sign that, so if you have too much fire or a lot of fire, you need to incorporate more of the other elements, or if you are lacking fire, you need to add some more fire into your life. So, as we kind of mentioned a little bit, fire represents heat, passion, aggression, enthusiasm, love, hate, sex, authority, and motivation. If you need to incorporate more fire into your life, some ways you can do that are burning candles, having a fire if you have an indoor fireplace or a campfire, cooking with fire, eating spicy foods, following your passions and diving into your passions or whatever lights you up. You can envision flames in your mind's eye while you are meditating, and you can do work to connect with your soul and listen to its desires. So if you do a meditation or an activity to connect with your soul and these desires come up for you, make sure that you're actually taking action to work towards them and put time and energy into that, and it will build your fire element. So the 3 zodiac signs that are fire are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So all of these are fire, but yet they are all different. I won't go into much detail of these 3 because I will do another episode fully on the zodiac signs and their energies. But just for a quick recap, if you don't know, Aries is the youngest of all zodiac signs, but it's also the youngest of the fire signs. Its energy is definitely fiery, can be quick to anger and aggression because it is ruled by the planet Mars. Its animal is a ram, so like strong-headed and yes, can charge quickly, but they are also very passionate, very driven, and I personally love Aries. My younger sister is an Aries sun, and I adore her. The second zodiac sign is Leo. Leo is honestly probably my favorite zodiac sign ever. My grandma was a Leo, which is why I think I love them so much. Leo is represented by the lion, and it is ruled by the sun. So Leos are often very, very, very exciting. They are courageous and often make really great leaders because they have such that like authority just to them naturally. People naturally just are drawn to them, and they're very bright and exciting, and yes, Leos are awesome. And Sagittarius is the oldest of the fire signs. Its like mascot or whatever you want to call it is a centaur, which is like a half man, half horse. And so Sagittarius is essentially like the warriors of the zodiac signs. So they are aggressive as well, but more in like fighting for a cause that they are passionate about, and they are very much adventurous. They are always down for adventure, and I love Sagittarius. I'm a Gemini sun, so Sagittarius is actually like the opposite, which means one of the ones that I get along with the most. And yes, I love a good spicy Sag. So moving on, we are going to be talking about Earth. So Earth is the element of stability and foundation, which is why it represents the body. Earth is a feminine energy, and it is linked to fertility and being nurturing. When we're connected with the earth element, it helps us to feel calm, stable, grounded, and have that connection to Mother Earth. If you naturally have a lot of Earth, you may be a very grounded person, stubborn, stable, calm, and you can often get into phases in your life where you feel stuck or rooted. So if you are lacking the earth element naturally in your makeup, you may struggle to be grounded. You could have money issues and you may not often feel very calm and stable. Your roots may feel very weak. So that's when you need to incorporate more earth into your daily practices. Earth represents being grounded, our family roots, fertility, the foundation of life, money, the physical world and our physical bodies, loyalty, stability, and Mother Earth. So when you think about Earth, you think about like growing and nurturing and having those roots, right? If you are super high in Earth, you think like big, thick, strong roots. If you are weak in Earth, you think little, dainty roots that can be ripped out. And also we think about like Mother Earth grows and nurtures all the plants and stuff on Earth. So very much a feminine energy, as in how our mothers grow and nurture us and birth us into this world. So if you are lacking Earth in your makeup, or you are feeling that you are ungrounded and you need that energy more, ways that you can incorporate more earth into your life: you can move your body, so exercise, having house plants to take care of a plant, or gardening, just depending. I live in Canada, so gardening is only a few months out of the year, so that's why I like to have house plants as something that I can take care of and be connected to all year round. Spending time in nature, so getting out, going for a walk, going in the forest, that kind of thing. Grounding your energy, so you can do that through physically putting your bare feet on the ground. Or you can also use your mind's eye, doing a meditation, and imagine roots growing from the base of your spine if you're sitting, or the bottom of your feet if you're standing. And just imagine your roots growing all the way from that base all the way into the earth. And then let that energy in your body travel down into the roots, and then the earth will neutralize that for you. So those are some ways you can ground your energy. Spending time with family is also a way to incorporate more earth. Eating root vegetables as well are ways that you can have more connection to that earth. So the 3 earth zodiac signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So Taurus is the youngest of the earth signs. It is represented by a bull. So if you think about a bull, it's like it's in the meadow just chilling, eating grass, or it's like running into you head first. So they can be very headstrong. They're known to be quite stubborn. But Taurus is a very sensual sign, so they love to touch and feel. They can be a little materialistic because they are attached to the physical world more. But Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus, so they love like beauty and love. They are very loving, very nurturing, and some of the sweetest people you will ever meet. Virgo is the second second earth sign. And Virgo's energy is very, very organized. They love details. They love to be organized. They are very grounded, and they're good at getting things done because they're so like A, B, C, D, this goes here, and everything needs to run perfect for them. They often like to have things like neat and aesthetic. And they are also very nurturing. They'll love to take care of people. And yes, my best friend is a Virgo. She is the best. Love you, Jayla. And so number 3 is Capricorn. Capricorn is the last of the earth signs, and Capricorn is very headstrong and determined. They are very competitive. They like to win. They're very like business women. Like, they are getting shit done. So that is kind of a little bit about the 3 earth signs. And we will be moving on to air. So air is the element of communication, which is why it represents our mind. Air is a masculine energy, and it is linked to intellect and adaptability. So when we are connected with air, it helps us be creative, have a lot of ideas, and be able to communicate efficiently. If we have a lot of air in our makeup, you're often creative, intelligent, you can be spacey, flighty, and you are often overthinking things. If you lack air, you may have struggle being creative, and have a hard time coming up with ideas, or feel disconnected from the universal source, because air is the element that exists in between all things. So it's kind of like how we're all connected to each other. So if we don't have a lot of air, we may feel that disconnect from people around us, as well as the universal source. So the element air represents creativity, communication, intellect, being open-minded, thinking, adaptability, flightiness, and connection to the universal source. Ways that we can incorporate more air into our lives if we feel we are lacking is watching the clouds, getting some fresh air, doing something to activate or stimulate your mind, such as reading or doing a puzzle, doing something creative. So this can be painting, art, dance, whatever it is that you do as a creative outlet. You can also use your mind's eye and imagine that your head is filling with air like a big balloon. That can help bring more of that air energy to you. And also eating leafy vegetables. So the zodiac signs that are air are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Gemini is the youngest of the air signs. Gemini's sign is twins. I am a Gemini sun, and people, I think, often don't understand Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is the planet of communication. So Geminis are very full of information. They have millions of ideas all the time, and just like always information and things coming in and into our brains, and it can be a lot sometimes, but they are sometimes said to be like gossipy because we just love to talk and communicate all the time. So sometimes it comes up that we're being a gossip, but that's not always true. Yes, they are just bright and bubbly and never want to be quiet. So Libra is the second of the zodiac signs. Libra sign is a scale. Libra loves to create balance. They are really good at almost molding themselves into whatever needs to be in order for there to maintain balance in whatever situation they are in. So if they need to be quiet in one situation or loud in another, they're good at adapting to that to create that balance, because they don't like confrontation and they don't like to upset the scale. They are also ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty and love. So they love when things are beautiful, and they love to create harmony and beauty in between people. Aquarius is the last of the air signs, and Aquarius is the humanitarians of the zodiac signs. Their the mascot is a water bearer, so their job is to kind of they're worrying about everything else. My moon is in Aquarius, and Aquarius are meant to come off as being weird and quirky, because they like to test and change what we think is normal. They like to try and stir things up, and their weirdness is what helps us to move into new phases of life. And they are honestly just worried about everybody else, and they have really good hearts. My mother is an Aquarius, and she literally, if she could, all she could do is solve other people's problems, I think that she would be the happiest person on earth. She just wants to help everyone. And I feel that fully because my moon is in Aquarius. It's like I just so deeply want to help the world. I like see all this hurt and I just wish I could give everybody a big hug and they could tell me their problems and I could make them go away. So, yes, weird but very helpful. So, next we are going on to water. Water is the element of emotion, which is why it represents our heart. Water is a feminine energy and it is linked to imagination, fluidity, and wisdom. When we are connected with water, it keeps us connected with our emotions and our intuition. So if you have a lot of water in your makeup, you may be overly emotional, very wise, very sensitive, very intuitive, have a pure heart, a good imagination, be soft, compassionate, and be able to go with the flow. If you are lacking water, then you may have a hard time with processing and dealing with your emotions. You can struggle to be able to hear and communicate with your intuition. You may be dry and lack compassion and struggle to have an imagination. So, water represents emotions, fluidity, wisdom, purification, imagination, self-sufficiency, sustainability, and cleverness. So, if we need to incorporate more water, ways that we can do that is having a bath or a shower, especially when we set the intention before having a bath or shower of that we are clearing and cleansing ourselves. Going for a swim, dipping your feet in a lake, river, or ocean is super powerful. If you live near a natural body of water, it is super, super, super powerful for clearing emotions and connecting you with that water. I personally don't live anywhere at the moment that I have access to that, so I try to have a lot of intentional cleansing showers. You can eat sweet foods, so this would be more like fruits, and obviously staying hydrated, drinking, and lots of water in the day also helps you connect with water, and practicing connecting with your intuition. So, doing that with yourself and making sure that you can trust your intuition and all that good stuff, and then also using your imagination more, so that can go into like dreams and just being able to kind of visualize, cool things that aren't just like day-to-day things that you see. Tap into that inner child because that is a big part of our imagination. So I just wanted to add this when it comes to water. Because the water on Earth is very polluted right now, it is also a reflection that we have a lot of polluted emotions on Earth right now. So when you think about it, it's like water, because it represents emotions are energy in motion. So in order to have a healthy relationship with our emotions, they need to be in a constant state of flow. So when we think about water existing naturally in nature, it is in some sort of state of flow, like whether it be the ocean having waves or a river, always moving, or lakes have natural filtration systems in them. If you've ever been to a lake that is man-made and doesn't have that, you will see that when water is like stagnant, it doesn't move, it becomes murky and muddy and gross. And the same thing applies to our emotions. So when we have emotions and we're not letting them go, we're not processing them, we're not feeling them and releasing them, they become stuck and stagnant in our energetic field, and it becomes just like that water that's not moving. It becomes muddy and murky and heavy and gross, and it lowers our vibrations and has a very negative effect on us. So because our water supply on Earth is being very polluted because of, all the things that we are doing as humans that are polluting this planet, and it's not fully in our control, so you don't need to lose sleep over it, but it's just important that we keep this in our minds and know that, like, in our society, we haven't really been taught proper ways to deal with and process the emotions, which is a reflection of all this murkiness going on around us. So we need to each play our part in having that relationship with ourselves and our emotions to be able to teach ourselves to feel, release, let go. That will help to clear the emotions from our energetic field and get rid of a lot of this murkiness we have going on in our water, within ourselves. And just, yeah, because water is purification, we want to purify ourselves, because when we let our emotions go and we let them flow and they're coming and going, we can stay. It's way easier for us to stay in a peaceful, loving state than it is when we hold on to things. That's when we're grumpy. That's when we're quick to anger. It's when all these things drag us down emotionally, which then leads to mentally, and then leads to physically, and, then leads to soulfully. So water is very, very, very important to make sure that we're staying connected to it, especially because it is a feminine energy, and a lot of masculine, like men, and it has been taught in our society that, like, men shouldn't cry, men don't need to be in tune with their emotions, but we need to be in tune with all of these elements, especially water, because it is our emotion, and everything is all interconnected. And when we are like, yes, you can take care of your physical body, yes, you can take care of your mind, yes, you can take care of your soul, but if you're forgetting about your emotions, it doesn't matter, because it's going to bring all those down, and it works the same with all of them. So yes, it's okay to cry. Crying is super powerful. It is one of the ways that we can cleanse ourselves. If you feel like you need to cry, don't deny that for yourself. If you're crying all the time, maybe we're being a little too over emotional, and we need to ground ourselves and realize that we're here and we're in this physical world for a reason. But make sure that you are okay with your emotions. You're not scared of them. You're not hiding from them. You're not ignoring them, because they do play a very, very, very important role in ourselves and in our well-being. Before I forget, the 3 zodiac signs that are water are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Cancer is the youngest of the zodiac sign. It is represented by a crab. So if you know somebody that's Cancer, they might be a little hard on the outside. They might come off as a little closed off, but they are soft on the inside. They are very nurturing, very loving, very sweet. And it is just that outer shell that they use as protection, because they are so soft inside. They almost need that as a defense mechanism, because if people just automatically saw how soft they were, I think people would really take advantage of that. So yes, Cancers are sweet and loving. And yes, the second is Scorpio. So the sign is a scorpion. They are, like, also probably, other than Gemini, the most misunderstood zodiac sign, because people see them as very, like, deep and intimidating and almost are scared of them. But they are like the deep, dark depths of the ocean, and they are so deep and emotional that some people can become scared of them, but they are just so wise and so intuitive, and they are like, right, it's like they're like the things that some of us are too afraid to explore. Most of us don't want to dive down into the bottom of the ocean because nobody knows what's down there, but the Scorpios will. The Scorpios are in touch with those deep emotions, those deep that deep part of their intuition, and they are actually really beautiful, beautiful people. And last but not least is Pisces. Pisces is the oldest of all the zodiac signs, and Pisces is represented by fish. Pisces energy is all about imagination, dreams, illusion. They are wise beyond their years. If you know a Pisces, like, you can just see it in their eyes. They are just like soft, kind, gentle, and just like super creative, super imaginative, and just so sweet. They are like way more clearly sweet than, whereas Scorpio and Cancer kind of have those external walls up, external shells, like the crab and the scorpion, but Pisces is just straight sweetness. So based off of all this information on the 4 elements, you may or may not realize which ones you have occurring naturally within you, or ones that you may think you need to incorporate more of in your day-to-day life to create that balance. So pretty much it's like, if you have way too much fire, the opposite of fire is water, so tap into that water, but also air and earth help with that as well. If you have too much air, too many ideas, the opposite would be earth, so make sure that you are grounding yourself, because you can have a million bajillion ideas all the live long day, but you're never going to utilize them if you're not grounding that energy into the physical world. This is something I have struggled with a lot in my life, because I am mostly air and I have very, very, very little earth in my energy. So I have to take an idea one at a time, write it down on a piece of paper, meditate on it, watch it, plant the seed, literally imagine myself planting the idea as a seed, and then I slowly watch it grow. But I have to do that very consciously, because I am all air. My ideas are just coming and going all the time. So, and if you are a lot of water, if you get way too emotional, you might need that fire, that passion to, get that emotion out of there a little bit. Also, grounding really helps with that. It can help. You can neutralize your emotions through grounding when you do that root exercise, or literally just putting your bare feet on the earth. The earth gives off a vibration that naturally grounds us, but most shoes are made out of rubber, which is an insulator, so that's why it's so important that we put our literal physical bare feet on the ground, because the vibration will neutralize our energy. But shoes stop that from happening. I'm not saying anything, but I do have a conspiracy theory that they did that on purpose. So, anyway, if you have any questions about these energies, feel free to reach out to me always. My Instagram is soulful.self.development. I would love to answer your questions. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I had so much fun here with you guys, and we will see you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today and making Soulful Self-Development possible. I am grateful for each and every one of you. If you enjoyed the show today, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Stay tuned for new episodes coming out every Wednesday. You can connect with me on social media at soulful.self.development. I would absolutely love to hear from you. You guys make my heart so full. See you next time.